Okay, everybody. So the last video we met Rashelle of Temmer, got a sense of who she is, but what is she actually doing here on Earth? Well, back in the 1930s, Nazi Germany wasn't just about politics and war. They were getting into some really weird stuff. They had secret societies like the Thule and Vril Society, which were obsessed with psychic powers and channeling aliens. They wanted to find any advantage and edge that they could in science and technology arenas. Maria Orsic was the big name in the Vril Society. Most people think that she was just some psychic woman talking about aliens. But according to Rashelle, she was actually a Taygetan operative, working undercover to subtly influence what the Nazis were doing, and especially to keep them from developing nuclear weapons too quickly. Okay, this is where the Sand Clock mission comes in. After a variety of ET's ships were shot down in the 40s and the 50s, Taygetan realized that they had to step in more directly. Like I mentioned in the previous video, they sent 2 small high-frequency ships back in time with 14 operatives total. And let me tell you something, these time trips weren't just like jumping into a VR game. You see, the world is very harsh for higher density people. Rashelle once said it's like walking through water up to your thighs. Everything feels heavy and slow, and your body gets drained and your mind gets foggy. Join the club, right? Welcome to Earth. Well, because of this, they couldn't stay long without having to return to orbit to recover. When they got to 1937, they worked with the Vril Society, but not in the most way people think. Allegedly, those women with long hair weren't just doing mystical rituals. They said their hair actually acted like a telepathic antenna, helping them to connect to ships and beings above. But they were the real people with the knowledge already. They were the ETs that they were claiming to channel. Rashelle and her team nudged key people in Nazi scientific circles, in essence, slowing nuclear research and making sure anti-gravity propulsion experiments stayed under control. Basically, they were steering things behind the scene without anyone noticing. The mission didn't stop everything, but it did enough to keep nuclear weapons from becoming a bigger disaster in that timeline. Some knowledge still leaked out, and that eventually showed up in the post-war programs like the Hanabu, the Die Glock, or even Operation Paperclip in the United States. To people on the ground, it just looked like Nordic women and men with weird tech ideas, but behind the scenes, it was fully orchestrated. Rashelle also pointed out something interesting about how the Federation works with humans. Intervening in a low-density civilization is tricky. You can't just change history all at once, and I believe I even heard Yazi say this before too, that small nudges are all you get, and the timeline has a way of correcting itself. But those small changes can make a huge difference, and that's exactly what the Sand Clock mission was about. Slowing dangerous tech, keeping people alive, and making sure history didn't spiral out of control. By the time that Rashelle arrived in 1952, the effects of the mission were still unfolding. Secret treaties had been signed. Technology was being shared carefully, and humanity's access to advanced knowledge was tightly monitored. The Vril Society, the Hanabu projects, the deep underground military bases, all of these things were connected threads in a much bigger story. And Rashelle was now in the middle of it, watching over everything, guiding it, and making sure humans didn't accidentally blow themselves up. What's really cool is that from her perspective, Earth isn't just a planet. It's like a fragile ecosystem full of ambition, secrets, and powerful technology, all under the watchful eyes from above. She wasn't just observing, she was actively shaping events in ways most humans will never even know about. And all this sets the stage for what's coming next. her meeting with Eisenhower, the secret treaties, and the ongoing management of hidden programs that still affect Earth. So I will see you in episode 3. Thank you for watching.